We are all set to begin our final panel discussion this evening, ladies and gentlemen. As India aggressively fast-track its shifts towards sustainable and green transport, which we have been discussing from the very beginning of this conclave. A massive wave of ancillary and manufacturing opportunities is opening up within the electric vehicle and the clean energy ecosystem. Tonight, we'll look at exactly how our MSMEs can catch this green wave and lead the charge. Joining us on stage to map out this spectacular roadmap, please put your hands together for Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, Corporate Director, Roots Group of Companies and Founder Trustee, Vice President, Society for Smart E-Mobility. Welcome to the panel, sir. We have with us Mr. Shresth Mishra, Co-Founder and Chief People Officer, Simple Energy. Is he here? Yes, that's why he's walking to the stage. A round of applause for him, please. Mr. Sudeep Putumana, the Head of Mobility, L&T Electronic Products and Systems. Welcome to the panel. Welcome to the panel, sir. And guiding this powerhouse panel is a veteran industry analyst and an outstanding voice in business journalism, the consulting editor of the Hindu Businessline, Mr. Ramesh M. Over to our moderator.
You know, I was thinking of a way to remember this panel. You can simply remember it as L&T had simple roots. I don't have to tell an audience like this why we have chosen this topic. You know, we all know that about 15-16% of greenhouse gas emissions come from transportation sector. The world is moving away from pivoting away from transportation sector into clean mobility. Obviously, the question is, how does it affect MSMEs? For that, our team has put together an excellent panel. Look at this, just look at this panel. We have a very old company, Roots. We have a very new company, Simple. And we have a very big company. What it means is you're going to get different perspectives to make a complete 360-degree view of what is happening here. Now, I cannot do better than to let these gentlemen introduce their companies in their own words, very briefly, perhaps taking a minute or so. Sir, Dr. Chandrasekhar. Roots, by the way, you know, all of us have tooted motor horns in our young days. Mr. Ramasamy decided to do something. He decided to manufacture them. And apparently, in those days, the horns that, you know, were all being imported. And he started manufacturing, hence began their journey. It's a very sound company. Please go on, sir.
Thank you, Hindu. Thank you, Businessline. Greetings from Roots first, and again, greetings from the Society for Smart E-Mobility. I'm representing as a founder trustee. So thanks for giving us an opportunity here. So Roots, as Mr. Ramesh said, started with horns, and we also do horns now because we have grown to a lot of other products, and we are moving out with automotive electric vehicles on the stage now with off-the-road vehicles, we call it as, or small, low-speed private vehicles for people, and also with golf carts. Not exactly golf carts. We have vehicles for all purposes.
The full golf carts.
Full golf carts.
Wow.
And we have adapted that golf cart into a vehicle for public purposes, moving in people across railway stations, airports. For the moment, it is not still on the roads. We are working towards it. In between, we also make a lot of other things. We are the largest cleaning machine manufacturer in the country. And of course, we can number in the top 5 in the world as well. Like we make the single largest company producing from the smallest handheld mops to the road sweepers, truck mounted sweepers, to airport cleaners and all that. In between, a lot of other products as well. So thanks for the introduction.
How many product lines do you have?
It could be going into hundreds if we count the numbers.
Oh my God.
And we want to be number one, as what Dr. JV said. We don't want to be we want to be I first. Roots is proud to be one of them there.
Lovely. Thank you, sir. Shresth. Simple Energy. What a name. You must tell me who thought of this name. It is not just a name, it's a feeling. By just that name, you convey so much of sense to all your stakeholders.
Yeah, first of all, good evening to everyone. And the story behind the name is that when we came up with the solution to a complex problem of mobility, we wanted to have it very simple. And that's how the name Simple came up, right? And we are a company established in 2019, and since then we've been focusing on designing, developing, and now manufacturing electric vehicles. So we have two products, Simple 1 and Simple 1S, and now we have the longest range scooter as well, which is Simple Ultra, which is on the roads, and we have sold close to 18,000 vehicles. What's unique about us is we design and develop and manufacture majority of the technology in-house, be it the motors, battery packs, MCU, BMS, hardware, firmware, mechanical side of it. Everything that you see onto the scooter is something that we've designed in-house, and some of the things we manufacture in-house as well. So I think it's been a great journey, and that's how the name, as I said, the name Simple came up, that the solution to a complex problem of mobility is simple that we have today.
How old is your company? When was it started?
So we registered the company in 2019 September, but we've been working since 2018, end of 2018 I can say.
Mr. Puttamana sir, now it would be presumptuous on my part to try and say anything about L&T. But this business, this electronics business, tell me a little about it. I mean, how old is it? What are you doing?
Sure. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hindu. Thank you, Businessline. Yeah. I think L&T has got every 5-year planning. Yeah. And next 5 years, they've seen a great opportunity in electronics. And almost in a year now, we are working on this topic. We are growing in a very rapid pace. We are basically headquartered in Bangalore, and we are going to have our largest electronics headquarters in Coimbatore. And this is going to be a 5,000 crore investment, what has been signed with Tamil Nadu government now, with our chairman. And also we are having a 40-acre campus here, which is also developing electronics. And in this, mobility plays a key role. Yeah. So that's
lovely. Thank you very much. May you make a lot of money in Tamil Nadu as well. Now, I want to test this topic itself a little bit. The topic was devised was opportunities in clean mobility. I am a little, fearful in my mind. Is it an opportunity or a threat? I mean, it's probably both. To what extent is it an opportunity? To what extent is it a threat? Let's go in the same order. Sir, Dr. Chandrasekhar, please proceed.
I would start with a threat. Electric mobility, because an IC engine car or an automotive has about 20 to 100 parts plus.
Yes. A lot of them supplied by MSMEs.
Mostly. And Coimbatore claims to be supplying 40% of India's automotive supply chain. It's a threat, kind of threat. And to look at what the electric vehicle has, in a total, 100 would be the maximum number in any automotive. The moving parts, what they call it as like. So it's a threat. And we also look at every threat as an opportunity. The only thing is that the MSME has to look around it to see what they can do, how to add their facilities, how to move out from the conventional manufacturing pattern of supplying only the castings and things like, to go into technically high precision parts, which electric mobility has, and like what Mr. Ravi said about getting into niche parts like sensors, because SDVs are opportunities there, and but 1,000 sensors there in the car, heavy cars. I don't know how many numbers of sensors there. So they have to look at the ecosystem where they can look into it. And Coimbatore has got the brain, talent, the entrepreneurship. The only thing is that they have to look around and see what is the possible opportunity to grab it. If not now, at least tomorrow, rather than being very late to it. There is an opportunity for us. I feel it is an opportunity. And Coimbatore has already caught it up. Being the founder trustee of the Electric Mobility Society, about 100 members a year, and most of them are MSMEs. The positive tone.
Super. Shrestha, you are not a person who saw a threat in this. You are the person who threatens. So where did you see the opportunities? You started quite early, 2019. So what kind of opportunities do you see? And, of course, we'll come to challenges in a moment.
So I think opportunities lies everywhere, even in the traditional industries. If we talk about, let's say, casting, for example, sir rightly said, there is a scope of improvement because India now has to move towards global standards, IATF certifications, getting better at the processes, getting better at execution. So I think that's where there's still a gap I see, and there is always a room for improvement in any business that we talk about. And of course, electric mobility coming in and new businesses coming in, there's always new avenues of opportunities that keep on opening, not just on the sensor side, but on the, let's say, EMS, for example, which is a very big business that's grown in the last, I would say, post-COVID era, right? Apart from that, electronics assemblies, the validation, the second life recycling of batteries, all of that is a avenue of business that's coming up with the new evolution of electric mobility. Electric mobility has now become mainstream, probably 12% or 10% of overall two-wheelers sold is now electric, right? So I think there is, of course, a scope of new businesses coming up, but at the same time, the existing business, for example, if I talk about battery casings, right? We get battery casings, and battery casings is aluminum die-casted product. So I think HPDC is a regular HPDC product. So I think there will always be more avenues coming. Of course, there would be some components that would be less in terms of moving parts, as sir rightly said. But I think there will always be more opportunities coming in the same industry as well as new industries coming up as well.
So are the emerging opportunities, can they counterbalance?
Yes. Yes,
You
I
think
think
so?
definitely that's there. But existing businesses also have to cope up. For example, as I said, casting, fabrication, and all of that, of course, will go hand in hand.
Sir, what is L&T's take? How much of an opportunity is it? How much of a threat is it?
I see this is a great opportunity actually.
Bigger
Because
opportunity than threat.
bigger opportunity than threat. Mainly because if you look at today in 2025 vehicle manufacturing, you take it, 4% only is passenger vehicles is penetrated. Around 7% is penetrated in EV and maybe 55% in three-wheelers, but that's quite high. But there is a huge opportunity when it comes to another 76% in passenger vehicle. Now it's another 73%. Of course, we are not going to go complete EV. Maybe we see 2030, 31, we see around 30% of EV vehicles on the road. That itself is a huge opportunity. That means all tier ones, all MSMEs, everybody has got a good opportunity actually to transform. If you start today, we have a great opportunity to transform to this industry. So this is something which I see, but definitely in a typical ICE engine side, there will be some challenge to transform because you need to start, maybe you should have started maybe 2 years back, maybe at least we should start today. Yeah. When it comes to the opportunities as such, everybody is competing with uniqueness. Now, if you take the two-wheeler industry example, I'm sorry, I'm not getting into your industry, but I'm just my analysis about the industry. If you take the two-wheeler industry, we are currently, every EV wants to operate in, some segment. Somebody wants, like Aethers and Olas want to operate in scooters. New age startups are coming in motorcycles and also high-end motorcycles, low-end motorcycles. So there is a huge opportunity. Everybody wants to be unique in this. And the earlier speaker told about me first. Yeah, that's very, very important here.
I first.
I first, okay. Or
me too versus I first.
Yeah. So that's very, very key here. So there's a great opportunity for all the young entrepreneurs and also the typical long-term MSMEs to transform now. That's what I might take. So it's a great opportunity to me.
So there is an I first man sitting to your right. Very well. That brings us to this a favorite topic of mine. I also bring out the science page of our newspaper. So I'm a little more biased towards technology. I just noticed Dr. Chandrasekhan was looking up your company. You are already investing 2% of your GDP in R&D and going up to 4%. What, have you got into pharma or something? Why? I mean, I was telling myself, what is there to invest in R&D in a motor horn? But of course, you just told me that you are going to get into many other projects. So, of course, the broad question is, it is a complete shift in technology, right? From where we were earlier and in this new ecosystem. The technological leap. How do MSMEs make this leap? What's your company's? Please talk a little about your company's R&D. 4%.
You quoted about Mr. Ramsamy, chairman, like he was always looking at 20 years ahead. We were the first company in the country to talk about mechanized cleaning. When everybody was talking about brooms, I was not able to sell the first a mop to my own home because it's costing about 600, 700 rupees. I said, my wife was telling me the maid cost 200 rupees a month. Why should I pay a mop 1,000 rupees? So we thought, Mr. Ramasamy, invest not on it. And as you, just telling you, it's the single largest company in cleaning machine manufacturing. So we are into, for tell you that we are into aerospace, we are into healthcare, we are into furnitures, we have stepped into semicon. So the opportunities are there. And asking about going up from 2% to 4% R&D makes us look for the future. Maybe we'll have to earn for that to spend there. It's a risk again, but unless the same kind of investment on R&D should be done by an MSME also, to look around to see what is there. There are opportunities, like what Sir said, in the electric mobility also. Not everybody needs to do a battery. Not everybody needs to do something large. They can look into something like the electronic parts of it or the EMS part of it. Coimbatore is a cluster for electronics. And they can also count upon the countless number of people who are already invested, look facilities support them there. And all Coimbatore needs to the MSMEs a cluster sort of a development. When Mr. Dore Ramasamy started talking about a cluster in Tirupur, Coimbatore is a good place for EV cluster. So the Electric Mobility Society has been talking about setting up a cluster or a common test facility center which got about totally 150 crores where we don't have to go to GARC or to ARAI for testing our motors or testing our electronic parts. We could get all the tested in Coimbatore with just about 150 crores. We gave a full DPR to the government. Of course, that did not happen. Probably we got promises that will happen sometime sooner in Coimbatore. If that happens, all MSMEs come and look into it. A normal motor manufacturer can step into looking at developing a BLDC motor, a PMS motor, a PSM motor, and a magnetless motor for the future. And
magnet-free motor.
Magnetless motor. So that's technology. So people have to look into it. And otherwise, batteries, they don't have to just stop at lithium ion. There are a lot of other batteries. Sodium ion is there. Only thing is that they'll have to look into it. Government should step into supporting R&D agencies, support small-time facilities, small-time companies to spend on R&Ds also. That's from my point of view.
Since you mentioned cluster development, this was not in my question list, but still, I'm reminded of a cluster development program that the government brought in some time back. From my memory, it was not hugely successful back then. But you are saying it is doing well in Coimbatore.
No, it has to do well. It's not doing well. Foundry is the only cluster as Coimbatore is concerned. I'm requesting government look EV also as one part of the cluster development programs, where Coimbatore has got the ecosystem, the talent pool, the number of institutions, a good strong entrepreneurs, resilient people. That's what I'm trying. So they can look at it, support developing a cluster in Coimbatore for electric mobility. EV cluster.
EV cluster can be developed here.
Yeah.
It has it is ripe for such a development.
It is not required to produce cars. It can produce the entire ecosystem. Supply chains can produce. A lot of small parts make it to sub-assemblies. A lot of sub-assemblies get into a larger part of it. To start of a success story, Coimbatore has been the first place where Ampere vehicles, a lady started it. Hemlat, I think she's in the crowd today. That was acquired by Greaves Cotton because they found business value in that. Coimbatore was the first place to get the EV dumper trucks. Might take 2 minutes.
EV dumper trucks?
EV dumper trucks.
Wow.
I was in Daimler facility of Michigan. So I was there as a visitor, passerby. So they were talking in, whispering tones about something happening in a corner of that company. I was curious, what's happening? So it's development, R&D. What is it? They're coming out with the electric dumper trucks. Come on, man, Coimbatore hat already 2 years old. So I showed a picture of it in YouTube. They did not believe. I'd have called up the founder, MD chairman of that Propel trucks, EV dumper trucks, 3 models. And that was launched last year by our National Minister for Highways. So he was surprised. He had to talk to believe that they've come out with a dumper truck, EV dumper truck of 75 powers of equivalent of ICE horsepower. He was generating it on a regenerative power. A truck taking debris upwards, charges by itself, comes downwards by braking power, it regenerates, charging his battery.
Regenerative braking.
Yeah, 18,000 rupees of diesel a day was saved. He was a mining company owner. he thought of developing something to benefit his customers. He came out with a truck, benefited 18,000 rupees per truck per mine. So they've all become the first 100 trucks sold to the mines. He got his ARIA last year. Coimbatore is the place where innovation happens, a lot of opportunities there.
Thank you, sir. Shresh, I will rephrase this question slightly for you. When you started, did you need to access technology? How easy or difficult did you find it to access technology? Please speak, from the perspective for your company, and also make a general comment about how difficult or easy it for MSMEs to get technologies. I mean, from my perspective, it looks like a pain point.
So yeah, back when we started, there were no major EV component manufacturers as such, right? The EV industry was very, very nascent, and there were people just importing from China and rebranding and selling it. So we decided that we would build the technology in-house. And if we went for, let's say, a mechanical component, right? A lot of companies would not even want to work with a very small company who is just starting, probably students out of college and trying to build something. So I think that was the biggest challenge, and that pushed us to design our own motors, for example. Today we have a motor which we have filed patents globally across European Union, Japan, Israel, China, US as well.
What is the uniqueness of this motor?
So that motor we can go from 2 kilowatt to 16 kilowatt, and from the same platform I can go from 48 volts to 100 volts as well. And similarly we have patented the process of magnetization, the magnets as well. So we just get raw strips of metals and we do the magnetization in our manufacturing facility. So we have the process also patented. Apart from that, the same thing was with battery packs as well. Everybody was trying to make battery packs, but nobody understood how to make safer battery packs, because it's not just about the lithium-ion chemistry or the cells. It's about how you package it, how you make sure that the thermal stability is intact. In India, the temperature ranges from -5 to 50 degrees Celsius. The riding conditions are different. The road conditions are different. So you have to take that into consideration, build it, design it, build it, test it, validate it, and then only you can put it onto the roads, right? But for us, what we've believed that we want to only work with MSMEs because what opportunity we did not get to work with, probably we would want to pass it on to everybody who is trying to build something or somebody who's trying to scale up their operations. And today I would like to extend this invitation that we would want to work with only MSMEs and to help contribute them grow with our journey as well. So I think that we would want to pass on, and I've always asked my team to reach out, because our manufacturing facility is in Krishnagiri, which is like 30 kilometers ahead of Hosur. We would want to have vendors from the Coimbatore region, Hosur region, so that can help us reduce our takt time and also to improve our production volumes and quality as well. So I think that's something that I wanted to communicate to everybody, that anybody who's trying to build something in, let's say, casting, machining, or any other aspects as well, mechanical, not necessarily just electronics, but mechanical side as well, we would be happy to explore synergies and work together.
So that's a very generous offer of you. Hope many people take this. No, but then in your case, you got the technology by yourself. I mean, you did it yourself.
Yeah, so we had to build it ourselves.
But in your industry, I'm assuming that you will be talking to your colleagues and so on. So what is happening in the industry? Are they finding it difficult to get technology from people who hold patents and so on? Otherwise, what are they, or does everybody have to bootstrap himself like you?
So that's what I think today, when we talk about EV industry as a whole, the entry barrier has come up to this level that you cannot just get it from China and rebrand it, sell it, right? Today, people understand that the value proposition is very important. So let's say as a customer, if I'm paying 1 rupee, I would want to do my research with AI and YouTube and internet accessibility. People do their homework before buying a single product. So for example, we have a scooter which we sell at 2.5 lakh rupees. So that's a 400 kilometers longest range. Simple Ultra, yes. So that product we built, we thought that the demand would be very low, because a 2.5 lakh rupee scooter, how many people would buy, right? But today we see almost 20 to 25% demand from overall sales for us is Simple Ultra, because people understand that if I pay that amount, the total cost of acquisition, total cost of ownership makes a lot of sense. I think that's what has helped people under the electric mobility penetration, and the last 6 months have been very tough in terms of global headwinds, the Middle East crisis and all of that. So I think it's a result of all of it. But today technology, I think, has evolved. People are focusing more on related technology to electric mobility, and not just mobility, but after sales support, afterlife of battery packs, all of that has evolved from where we started.
Lovely. Sir, Mr. Putmana, clean mobility. See, in the topic headline, we did not say electric mobility, we said clean mobility. Clean mobility goes beyond electric vehicles. Keeping that at the back of your mind, please address this technology question. How easy or difficult is it for MSMEs to access technology? And I suppose companies look up to companies like you for help. To what extent are you hand-holding them? To what extent is there a demand from them to you for hand-holding?
So I think when it comes to now, the industry is transforming, evolving, electric, safety technologies, everything is coming together now in passenger vehicles, in two-wheelers and others. So, and also the regulation is hitting, like safety regulation. Now we have different regulations are hitting. So I think it cannot work just alone. Yeah, no OEMs can work alone. No tier 1 can work alone. No MSME can work alone. I think the collaboration within the ecosystem is very, very important. Now coming into the specific, maybe you develop a technology, example. You also need to have, he mentioned about AI. So I just want to take an example about, let's say, safety technology now. Everything is driven by AI. And how many, he also must be clocking all the vehicles, what is running in the field, take the data, analyze, improve, and over the air, you update your software on the vehicle, right? So this is something which is evolving, and this needs your electronics in the vehicle has to be, very accessible to the cloud. It has to also manage very efficiently. That means you need a chip, system on chip or something which can accommodate maybe very less cost for India especially, but our customers wants everything with limited cost. So you need to have a very efficient system on chip, and in that very efficient AI-driven software, not just AI as an ecosystem for the development, AI-driven, technology-driven software, which can, use the number of data you collect on the road, and then you can predict. Example, you are going from A to B. You can predict that, okay, you're going from here to Salem. You can say you have 20% charge on your vehicle. You just want to stop somewhere, and you will maybe charge for 10 minutes. Good enough. You don't need to charge for 40 minutes to have the complete...
You don't need a full charge.
You don't need to get into a full charge, because how fast you can reach home or reach your destination. This is something which is, this kind of innovation also, not just a physical casting, forging, whatever typical MSME we talk, we also can think about like software-driven innovations. And these all things, neither OEM nor not a tier 1 alone can make it. And this is the place, the complete supply chain ecosystem can come into place, actually.
So how did they do it? Are you saying it is within the scope of MSMEs to do this R&D, or do they work with you? What is happening in the industry?
Yes, I think we already, I just take an example about motor. We have signed an agreement with one of the motor technology company now. Now it's a global company. Now we are going to produce it in Coimbatore for some customers already. So this is something we look for the unique technology. We look for the unique proposition, what we can give to our customers, like OEMs, like Tatas or Mahindras or even two-wheelers. Yeah.
Sir, but my question is really, L&T can access technology. You can get technology from anyone you want, I suppose.
Yeah.
But can a small company do it? What are you seeing in the industry?
So, actually, software is getting very, very complex. I think the integration process is very, very critical.
So that is where they have a role.
Yes, they have a role, actually. Whether it is an electronic, a sensor systems, Chandrasekhar has mentioned, yeah, and sensor systems. And also within, we are maybe 5 years, 10, 15 years back, we have very limited electronics in the vehicle. Now we have too many electronics in the vehicle. We have too many controls, control systems. We have too many sensors in the vehicle. Now we are trying to reduce this complexity because the feature or customer demands for the functions are not limited. So we try to combine it. Now these all things are coming into like computer on wheels or whatever we call HPC, high performance computer. We can, every as a MSME can pick out what is unique proposition in this, whether it is a powertrain system, whether it is a safety system, how you can contribute to this. And I think that is also one reason I think L&T is here in Coimbatore, and here there is a lot of talents available, a lot of ecosystem available. But I think we have to move from the typical, the casting forging companies to a technology unique company.
Mr. Ravichandran Purushothaman said, old money to new money, where the value is now getting accumulated.
Very true.
Well, thank you very much. Now, in the limited time that we have, I suppose we can discuss one other very important topic, which is of supply chain. You see, because, as we discussed in the beginning of this conversation, typically IC vehicle would have, 20,000 parts, something like that? 50, so many parts, so many manufacturers. The entire ecosystem is being erased, and a new system, new supply chain is coming up. I mean, from a lay perspective, that's what it looks like. So, what do you think? I mean, in this, we'll go from the reverse round. I will. Okay, sir, tell me. No, I was just going to ask you. So, how is it now? In the completely, is the supply chain coming up afresh? What are the challenge opportunities? Probably you were dealing with a different set of customers earlier. You have to deal with different people now. What's happening on the ground?
Yes and no. There are the standard components, standard suppliers today. But when it comes to, example, a stator technology mechanism in a motor, now everybody wants to, have smaller design, less weight, higher power density, higher torque density. How can we really, get these kind of things in a very unique? This needs not the typical, maybe a stator technology or a winding technology or something. So we need to have, unique materials. So we get the material from global. We get not only just magnets, we get he's doing unique, but most of the companies are getting the magnets completely from China or maybe a few other countries like Australia or Japan or somewhere. So I think we have a great opportunity, and there we have, and when it comes to electronics, the waferless design, and somebody talked about fab,
Not being there earlier, it's coming up.
So I think we have a great opportunity there. So I think it is very, very important for us to use all these talents to transform to building up this kind of local ecosystem here. And our aim, example from L&T, from mobility side, my aim is to get, we talked about HRE free, rare earth free solutions. We wanted to get into, majority of the supply chain to be done from India. So most of the design, most of the components coming locally from here. Maybe some material we have to depend. Maybe some magnets for time being we will have to depend. But future we want to have complete independence from India for India. Yeah.
Probably. See, back then in the early 90s, mid 90s, when we as young reporters were covering automotive companies, the buzzword used to be vendor development. Large companies like Hyundai used to bring lots of vendors around their plant and so on. So, but a company like Simple, you started afresh. How did you build a supply chain? How difficult was it? What did you have to do? But then you just said that you manufactured most of the product yourself, but still you must be buying from others. Also, I would like to know from you, curiosity, what is your vehicle's value proposition? I mean, in terms of, let's say, savings per kilometer?
So when we talk about, let's say, savings,
Two
when we
questions
talk about,
bundled together.
yeah. So if I talk about the value proposition, so we have tried to bring performance and mileage into a single scooter. So the symbol one that we have today boasts a range of 280 kilometers of certified range with a top speed of 115 kilometers per hour, with an acceleration of 0 to 40 kilometer per hour under 2.5 seconds. So we've tried to blend it together, and that became possible because we built the technology in-house. We have a motor that we built in-house, the battery pack, BMS, all of that we built in-house. Yes, as you rightly said, when we talk about the vendor side, it became a challenge because, as I said, just probably 3-4 guys out of college, nobody wants to work with them because they've not raised capital. But things have evolved over a period of time. Now people are looking at electric mobility also a little more seriously, right? For example, 2 vendors we developed. If I talk about, let's say, a motor casting and winding vendor that we have developed from Pune, because when we reached out to people in and around, they were not willing to do it according to our requirements. As I said, that's a unique design that we had done. But we developed a vendor, then we brought him. He's now putting up a manufacturing facility in Hosur itself. Apart from that, similarly for other components as well, we had faced a lot of difficulties. We are working with some of the larger companies, the tier 1 suppliers of, let's say, Hero, Bajaj, TVS and all of that as well. But my personal goal, and as a company, we believe that we would want to pass it on to the smaller companies, because what we faced in the earlier days when we started, we don't want others to face the same situation, right? So if somebody is willing to put in effort, somebody is willing to do the hard work with us, we are there to contribute with them, work with them and develop them into a tier 1 supplier like some other OEMs did, right? So that's what our philosophy of manufacturing or as a company is, and we would want to pass it on to other companies as well, because we believe it's not...
Sorry to interrupt you. How many, typically a company like yours, how many vendors would you have?
So today we are working with close to 200 plus vendors altogether. Of course, some of the components, as sir rightly said, we are importing because nobody manufactures in India, for example, lithium-ion cells and magnets. But I think we are working closely with Indian companies who are now setting up their manufacturing facility in India to localize that in the longer run, because we believe that we would want to localize as much as possible. So that is something that we are focusing on, and we would want to pass it on the benefit to the Indian companies rather than just depending on some other company sitting in some other country which has conflict of interest with our country, right? So that's what our strategy is, and electric mobility has become mainstream, and especially as you rightly asked about the cost advantage, right? Today, if I talk about a typical ICE engine scooter of that category, the amount of money that you'll be spending in 1 year for petrol and service, that amount you can use it for probably 6 or 7 years of charging, right? So that's the kind of cost advantage that the customer also weighs in and does his research. So that has made us a company which is now having the other problem. We don't have the demand problem. Demand is like double what our capacity is today, and that is why we are expanding our manufacturing capacity. We have a plant, as I said here. We are ramping up our manufacturing operations and bringing in more efficiency so that we can cater to the demand across the country.
Maybe I can just add one point here. I think if you look at startups in EV, two-wheeler startups, I think they make this complete vertical integration there. Yeah, full technology they are trying to develop by themselves. But if you look at most of the passenger vehicle or the bigger players today, completely rely on the imports, actually. And whether it is motor, whether it is motor control unit, electronics, and we are quite dependent on the international companies, global companies, and they have an established supply chain ecosystem. And they will have some advantage because of playing in global.
Very good point.
Yeah. So I think these startups are really, given a thread now for all of us to think, to build this kind of a supply chain for our need from here. And I think that is the exploration time right now. So I think we have a huge opportunity here.
Thank you. Dr. Chandrasekhar, is it correct to say that your company is a tier 2 company? Is that where you are? Tier 2 or tier 1? What should we?
I mean, in automotive supply chain, we are tier 1. I mean, tier 1 to the OEMs.
Yeah.
I mean, you asking me roots?
Yeah.
Okay. In automotive supply chain, we are in tier 1 position to the OEMs. And all of the products, I mean, I would always say that the products make money. Stop being a subcontractor. That's what. Add value to what you produce. Start with adding small assembly lines. That's how we grew. I mean, whatever we started developing as our internal requirements grew into their own products because of the competency in what we developed. For example, what we started as an aluminum die casting facility for a single model of horn which had an aluminum cover, it by itself is a single largest company having got the first green award, casting award, entire country by IGPC certified. So again, electronics started with our own electronic products. We have own products like.
So if you don't mind me interrupting, so you are as Roots, you are a supplier. You are also an OEM because you manufacture cards and so on. So you are both.
Yes.
So you
cars in the sense like it's a four-wheeler. We call it as a low-speed private vehicle or off-road vehicles. For the moment, in-campus vehicles. Golf carts is the normal word for it. We build real cars in the golf cart platform. Okay. We don't call it as golf carts.
Okay.
We call it as personal passenger carriers.
So did you have to talk to a complete new set of vendors?
Yes, sir.
So how difficult was it? I mean, would have been very tough?
No, we didn't have any, because we already have a supply chain of all other components building. So the problem for us in building electric car was primarily for the powertrain, going in for, of course, batteries also we got it from, we have 80% supply chain from MSMEs to start with. Our electric cars are built support by 80% MSMEs. Maybe controllers we get from outside. Motors, we get it from outside again then. Not from MSME. MSME motors are not very still competitive there, in the sense like they don't meet the target standards or whatever it is. But otherwise, the other parts of the build or the vehicle build, tires of course from large manufacturers, the rest of them are from MSMEs, most of them MSMEs. Developed MSMEs who have evolved from being a normal machine shop to an electronic precision machine shops. Only thing can upgrade them to precision machining from just machining, or ordinary casting to high priority castings and value additions.
So this ties in with the point that it is more an opportunity than threat.
Yes.
Well, I have another half an hour's worth of questions, but I see the frown on my editor's face here. So we'll open a break for question and answer sessions. Please go and identify yourselves.
So, good evening. I am T.N. Venkatesh. I am the Textile Secretary of Tamil Nadu. And the reason I attended this conclave was that for this session, basically, because we have been given an ambitious target of 1,000 crores of investment in technical textiles. So we are running a technical textile mission, and mobile tech forms 30% of the global demand in that. That is mobility, and in that another 40 to 50% is electric vehicles. So my question basically to Dr. Chandrasekhar. So we in the textiles ecosystem would like to work closely with you because, for instance, a company like VinFast is, getting all its mobile tech, that is textiles that are involved in vehicles from MP, Rajasthan and other parts of India. But we in Tamil Nadu, I think we have, as you yourself said, Coimbatore has a very robust EV system. So I think we would like to work closely with all of you in EV sector, with our MSMEs who can manufacture the textiles for your vehicles. Can we work together?
Thank you, sir. It's surprising note that technical textiles have a part of development for electric vehicles. That was news to me. I just try to understand what are those kind of stuff parts that anybody is looking for technical textiles in the electric mobility sector. I don't hear this.
Various types of airbags and various other products that go into the manufacturing of your EVs.
Okay. But safety stuff, the primary PRS and SRS. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the ecosystem there, but I don't think anybody in Coimbatore is already doing it. But it's a thought like we'll definitely brood upon and we look upon it, sir. And for technical textiles, sorry to interrupt, sir. To answer to you, Coimbatore has got other technical textiles. Not for the electric vehicle part of it, but there are a lot of companies already into electrical, including defense and army fatigue stuff and all. Yeah.
So he has opened up an opportunity for you.
Thank you, sir. We'll definitely talking about.
Well, who else wants to ask a question? Very well said. And I think the time has come to conclude this event itself, not this session. Been very enjoyable, very deeply insightful. I mean, there's been generous offers from each of you to MSMEs, how you can help. So that's a very big takeaway for our audience. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Deeply beholden to all of you for this.